When you're asleep, they're just getting started. John Romano, Dave Palumbo, After Hours. It's that time again, John. It is After Hours. And I'm Dave Palumbo, here again with John Romano. We're alone tonight, John. It's only us. The kids are asleep. Greg Valentino's in his house. I figured John was up in the mountains, kind of chilling out in North Carolina. Now he's back. So rather than do it in TV format, we're back to radio again. You know, every once in a while we got to revert back to our ape-like ancestry and do it the old fashioned way, as they say.
People love the TV, but I don't understand why. Look at the two of us.
I don't know why they like to look at us. Yeah, I'm an ugly mug, and you're 60. You had great hair at one point in time.
There you go, rushing me again.
Yeah.
You rushed me 10 years ago. You're rushing me now. So yeah, the mountains were nice. That was a cool place to go. We went ziplining the last day. That was a blast.
It's one of the. I'm afraid of heights, but ziplining is not that bad because you're not going that fast. It's like kind of like the steepness of the drop is not as bad.
These got up to 30 miles an hour. They were pretty radical.
Oh, really?
Over 1,000 feet long. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And they had this arresting device at the end. I used to rock climb, man. This is nothing for me. So I'm like clowning around, hanging off them sideways, I did some great pictures.
I'm petrified of like the heights. And
it weren't that high up. In a couple of spots, there were a couple hundred feet up, when the ravine dropped down and stuff. But there were so many, the leaves were all orange and red and falling down. It was just so beautiful. It was a great warm day, and it was breezy and sunny. It was just so nice. And they have this arresting mechanism on the end to slow you down from like 30 miles an hour to zero. And it's like hitting a wall, basically. So you're hanging from this harness, okay, and you got the cable. You got this little trolley that you're holding on to, and on a cable. Yeah. And so when you stop, the first time it happened, it felt just like getting punched in the face.
Oh, really? That strong?
Whack. Wow. And it stops you, so you swing up, and your legs, if your legs have to be kind of like apart, so the cable goes in between them. If not, it hits your feet, and it's a mess. But it took one or two times of me going down to understand their system, because the way I've usually done it before is you start going back uphill, and it slows you down. This is like tree to tree to tree. It was 11 of them, and you lost 1,100 feet in elevation.
Wow.
With 11 zips and 3 rappels. So they were pretty steep.
How do you get back to the beginning part again if you want to do it again?
With a van.
Oh, they drive you back?
Yeah, they drive you back up. Yeah. There was this 7 foot tall, 135 pound Rastafarian driving the van with regular music playing, and it was 17 switchback hairpins on the way up. This was like in the bottom of a gorge, and I'm looking at this guy. He was obviously dark glasses. He was like stoned out of his mind.
Sure. You had to get in a van with the guy, nonetheless.
It was funny. But yeah, anyway, it was a good trip, and it's good to be back and back to work. I got so much work.
I zip lined with Aaron Singerman in Vegas. If you go to the old part of the Las Vegas where the Golden Nugget is, down, what's that street called there? I forget what that street. That's it's enclosed. It's got the light show over it.
I don't know what the street. I know exactly where you mean though. I don't know the name.
I don't know why I'm saying Piedmont. I don't think that's the name of the street, but. Anyway, they have a zip line down the whole street, and I'm petrified of heights. I got up. You got to go up in an elevator. You go in the elevator, you get to the top, and it's like it's almost like a swing you sit in. I guess it's the harness, whatever.
Right.
And you zip line along the whole street, and so you look at the people below. It's pretty cool the way you do it. And they told me I was so scared. I said, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I don't understand why I am putting myself in this position when I don't enjoy it. I want to do it, but I really don't enjoy it because I'm very afraid of heights. It's an irrational fear. I don't know what it is. I think I have a fear of death more so than the heights. But so I get up there and I'm asking a million questions. Like, they just sit on the thing. I'm like, I want to know how the thing works. I said, this is my life. I said I'd like to know how the harness works and if it's going to hold me in right. I said, and Aaron's like, Dave, you're not 300 pounds anymore. It's not like you're going to fall out of the thing like you could have in the past. There's actually a weight limit. PJ Braun couldn't even go because he was too heavy. So, which got me even more scared that there was a weight limit, So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. And they're like, if you turn, I don't know, if you push your feet a certain way, it slows you down. So the hardest part is when stepping off the cliff, basically, and starting, because you're basically on the top of this big podium and you just step off and you just, you're on a swing and you start going. And it was fun. And I'm starting to go and I'm going. And Aaron and I, we're like neck and neck. We're both opposite each other on different zips. And, I realized I start going a little fast. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to slow myself down a little bit. I don't need to go this fast. And I start going backwards. And so I can't see where I'm going now. So now I'm really nervous because I'm going, but I don't know when I'm going to get to the other side because I can't see. And I'm afraid to turn around or move around because I'm afraid I'm going to fall off the thing. I'm holding on for my fucking dear life. But it's not going like crazy fast because it wasn't like really super steep. So I'm like, I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm like, all right. And Aaron, tell me when we're going to get to the podium. He's like, all right, we're getting that close. And so I'm like so nervous. So when I finally get to the podium, of course I don't see it. And I go like 100 miles an hour into the podium and almost like literally smash into the back of the podium on the other side. When I get off the thing, you know how when you do a squat workout, like a crazy squat workout and your nervous system is completely traumatized?
Right.
That's how I feel. I feel like I did like 60 sets of squats. My hands are shaking like I literally can't stop the shake in my hands, and my heart's beating 1,000,000 miles a minute. And I said, I don't know what to do. Aaron's like, the only thing to do is drink alcohol. So we go have, there's like a bar right there, right on that street, whatever it's called. And we go and have 2 shots of vodka, which definitely calmed me down, but got me drunk off my ass because I have no tolerance for alcohol. And that was my ziplining experience.
Well, after 11 of these smashes, at the end, I thought my low back was hurting.
You hit pretty hard, right? I really hit hard when I smashed it.
Smack! It was. You got literally 30 miles an hour to zero in 1 foot. It stops you.
Yeah.
The only you give is the swing in the line that's holding you on the trolley, on the harness. Right. So I thought to myself, man, my low back is starting to hurt, and it felt like my kidneys. I thought I was going to be pissing blood at any point.
I'm telling you, I hit hard too. Really,
it's a jolt. And then Val said, you're going to be sore tomorrow when you wake up. And then it was like nothing, absolutely zero. I was fine. It was like I didn't even go. So
good. Fremont Street, that's what it's called.
Fremont Street. Yeah, there you go. All that for nothing.
Yeah.
So speaking of Fremont Street, what's this thing with Chickarillo going on now with you? What did you do to him?
Well, I didn't do anything to him. He did something to me.
I know, but what did you do to him to make him so mad at you that he doesn't want you on the Joe Rogan show?
I don't. You know what? I actually did this video a couple months ago because what happened was, I think everyone knows what happened by now, but Bob has always had these little jealous little episodes of me, over the years.
Because you beat him every contest you compete?
No, I didn't always beat him, but I don't know if it could have been from me beating him, a couple times, but it might have stemmed from bodybuilding originally. And I'm the guy, the first guy to always say that I think Bob had a better physique than me. I think I was just a harder worker than he was, and I had a little more heart. But the bottom line is, there was some episodes with some girls, and he badmouthed me to my wife when I was first started dating Amanda, constantly. And so I just found that a bitchy thing to do. You don't fucking, I would never go behind a guy's back and try to a girl that he's dating and try to badmouth him. That's that's bad juju, you know what I mean?
That totally violates the bro code.
Yes, definitely. That's bitch material. So that I completely don't, that's something I always wanted to get out there about him, but I just didn't because I'm like, you know what, Bob's not worth it. But then when I saw the whole Joe Rogan thing and the fact that he tried to sabotage my appearance and he said I was a racist, and it kind of just set me off, and I lost my cool, and all my spirituality and peaceful and forgiveness thing just went out the window on it. And I just, it's like when I put Louis Marco down, when I destroyed him, because he had to try to attack me, I can't do it. I have look, I'm working on being a very balanced spiritual person, but sometimes I lose my mind, when shit like this builds up inside of me, I'm only human. So I did the thing rant, and you know what? I actually felt bad, after he was getting so annihilated that I felt bad about it. I know everyone's like, he deserved it, but. And you know what? Yeah, to a certain degree, he deserved it. But, at the end of the day, the guy's got to make a living for himself. And,
yeah, but,
So anyway, he reached out to me. I ignored him the first part of the day, and I cooled down by nighttime, and I got him on the phone. And
he called you or you called him?
He called me originally, but then I at the end of the day, I ignored him a couple times. But at the end of the day, I texted him. I said, all right, I'm cooled down. Let's talk. So he called me. He swears to me he didn't send those letters. He swears. He's like, I swear I didn't send those. I said, well, you still did the other stuff I accused you of. So I said, I'm willing to hear you out. So he's going to come on the TV show on Tuesday. And no holds barred, he said. He was open to. He actually was willing to fly to my studio and take a lie detector test, which I said, Bob, O.J. Simpson passed the lie detector test. That's not gonna validate anything in my mind. If you can lie, you might just be a good liar. I said.
Well, that's not hard to do. No. Pass a lie detector test.
No.
But there was whether it was him or well, now there's an added layer to what I was just going to tell you. There's a lawsuit here if you want to pursue it.
Yeah, that's not what my intention was. Not. I don't need his money. My intention was to punish him online. By exposing him. That to me was more punishment than any money he would have had to ever pay out. I'm not into suing people. I hate when people send me lawyer letters. Like Jeremy Buendia sent me a lawyer letter once, and I had to deal with that. I'd have Rick write a letter back, and I hate lawyers.
Hear me out.
Yeah,
he represented himself. It was one of the emails that you read was he's an executive of the industry,
right?
Whatever the fuck that means. But it would tend to imply that he works for somebody in the industry who heads the industry.
Right.
Okay. Now, these letters were a direct attempt to prevent you from appearing on the Joe Rogan show, right, which could potentially hurt your career because you could have gotten something out of those appearances. Right. Okay. So his intent was to stop you as an executive of the industry. Mm-hmm. Now, on top of that, calling you a racist is further damaging to your image and your career potential. So if he's acting as an executive to the industry, or however the hell he worded that, and those defamatory statements are being made, they're being made on behalf of whoever is employing him as the executive. So they're the ones your lawsuit's with, right, not him.
Right.
Okay?
I don't believe that anyone gave him the go ahead to do that, and I'm not sure.
Sure. No. It doesn't matter if they gave him the go-ahead. He's representing himself as that.
Right.
Okay? But it's unbeknownst to them. So tough shit. That's the chance you take with your employees.
Right.
So
who's he employed by?
Well, who's the exec? He's an executive in the industry. Who does he work for?
I don't know.
The AMI, the IFBB, the NPC. Yeah. I don't know. One of those organizations. Right.
Oh, I see. So you're saying in lawsuits that's how they would deem that, even if he's lying about the whole fact that he's representing them.
Well, he represented himself as a executive, whatever. Read that line of the email, and then calling you a second email to make sure he called you a racist.
Right.
Okay, even if whether he did it or not, it's been done.
Yeah.
So
true.
If you, I mean, this could be an ace up your sleeve for later on if you decide to go for it, or you could have for it.
I don't know what it is. Something's telling me that he didn't do it. I don't know. It's in his voice. I don't know. I'm going to hear him out. I'm going to hear him out. I'll let public opinion decide if they believe him or not.
I would hope that he didn't do it.
You know what? It's not. I don't know. It's kind of. Who knows? I don't know.
These get big morons that's still up to that.
Could have been one of those fucking nutcases. Yeah, who knows? The whole thing is disgusting. But you know what? The truth is that, I needed to get that out there anyway because there was some stuff that was said about me, and you and I have been disparaged by. Look, I called Sean Ray out. I had him on the TV show the other day. And that's why I said to Bob, Bob, I really don't dislike you, even though you've done fucked up things to me. Look, Sean Ray's done way worse stuff to me. He got me fired from MD, and he got me tried to get me thrown out of the Arnold Classic that year that he stole the interview from me. But so I said, he's way more despicable. I get him on the TV show all the time. So nothing bothers me. You know, it was when I read the racist comment, that really pissed me off because I'm not racist. And like, I really, like you said, that could disparage a person's whole career.
That could damage your image and your career. And that's
luckily people know that I'm not a racist. I mean,
no, but that's not the point. The point is that, look, you're sitting here minding your own business, doing what you do, and what you do is a service to the industry. Yeah. And then here the industry turns around and smacks you in the face for what?
Right.
Okay, so whether you decide to pursue it now or use it as an ace in the hole for later and say, hey, look, guys, you know, I could have sued you for this and I didn't. Quit fucking with my passes.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no one's fucking with my passes to anything. Ever since, I would say, the last couple of years, everything's been really cool. I actually called Jim Mannion up in the morning before I released the interview, and I told him I was releasing it. And I told him the whole story because I wanted him to know, and he was okay with it because sometimes you're better off giving people a heads up of what's going to happen before just doing stuff like that. And I had held that interview back. I mean, that video back. I did that rant 2 months ago or 3 months ago. And I didn't put it up because I didn't want to ruin the Olympia for Dan Solomon. You know, I didn't want to put a black eye on it. And like I said, I wasn't looking to do that. I was just trying to.
This happened 2 months ago?
More than that, yeah. Before the Olympia. A month before the Olympia.
And you held off this whole time?
Yes. That's called very good self-control on my part.
You deserve a medal for that right there.
Well, you know what? It was Dan's first Olympia, and I wasn't looking to, like I said, put a black eye. I love the Olympia. You know, I'm a fan of obviously the sport as well as a guy who participated in the sport, and I don't want to ruin the Olympia. It was bad enough that Sean Roden already ruined the Olympia, you know, with the arrest.
You held this under your hat for 2 months.
Yeah.
Dave, that's impressive. I'm telling you.
I think it's in old age, I'm getting much more constraint, you know.
That's like some Zen voodoo shit right there, man.
I wasn't even going to do it. I almost didn't release it at all. And then my ego got the best of me and I had to release it.
Wow. That's incredible self-control. No wonder you were able to get so ripped.
Yeah. Look, wow. You know what I realized, John? It's really, life is like a movie, and sometimes we take ourselves so seriously, and everyone gets so offended by everyone else, and everyone wants to, gets jealous, and you know what I'm jealous of? I get jealous of if someone gets more hits on a video than I do. I'm like, I got to work harder, but I don't use it as I don't like badmouth people because of it. I just work harder because of it, so. Don't be jealous and envious of people and try to wish bad things on them, because then when you do that, bad shit comes back to you. What you got to do is you got to just work harder and make yourself better and create more on your end. Don't worry about what other people. I found it a long time ago. You cannot control what other people do. You can only control what you do. And the more you focus on what they're doing, the more stuff you don't want in your life that comes into your life, because you're just obsessing about all the negative stuff, so you're going to get more negative stuff. I just worry about what I want to do.
I get jealous over the guys that can eat gelato and pizza.
You know what the funny thing is? I could eat that stuff and not gain a pound, but I'll poop my brains out because I can't digest lactose. And I did a DNA test a couple months, about 6 months ago or a year ago now, and one of my genes, I have no ability to digest lactose. So everything that I always suspected was 100% correct. DNA-wise, I don't make lactase,
Well, gelato has no milk in it.
So yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
No,
it's
just sugar.
It's gelatin. Cream. Gelato. It's gelatin.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought gelato was just the Italian word for ice cream.
No, gelato is different from ice cream. Yeah. You're a cook. What's in gelato? As far as I know, it's like gelatin, and I may have milk in it. I mean, but the
what do you mean it may have milk? You just changed your whole tune.
I got to look to be positive. Somebody's going to listen to this and say, "Oh, he's wrong."
I thought gelato was just the Italian word for ice cream. No.
Gelato it's gelatin.
Gelato says it's a type of ice cream.
It is
It's
a
a
type
popular
of ice cream,
frozen
but
dessert of Italian origin, generally made with a base of 3.25% milk and sugar,
all right, I'm wrong about the
generally
milk.
lower in fat.
But it's made with gelatin instead of egg yolks and custard, cream and all of that shit. But it's got more calories than ice cream. It's way more caloric. It's
I'm reading the ingredient list here of gelato. Revolution gelato. Coconut cream, cane sugar, cashews, coffee, vanilla. They got some mango, dark chocolate. Oh, this is not the...
Those are flavors.
Yeah, those are flavors. So never mind.
But it's not. It's different from ice cream. Here, look it up. I'm gonna look it up. You're looking it up.
I'm trying to look it up. I'm not doing too well. It's too late at night. I got to put my kids to sleep at night. And
what the hell are they up so late?
They won't go to fucking sleep. I don't know. And I got to lay on the floor. I have to put like a foam mattress. I got to lay on the floor till my daughter falls asleep drinking the bottle 4,000 times. She's like 18 years old when she's awake, and then when she gets into the bed, into the crib, she's like she's a year and a half old. Like she really is, and she acts like a year and a half old. She doesn't want to. My son doesn't want to go to sleep. He wants to fucking run around like a lunatic, at night. And then of course, he's tired, so he acts irrational. And everyone else tells me their kids go to bed 7:30. I'm like, how come I can't get them to bed before 11?
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, here it is, right here.
Oh.
The difference between the two is while gelato and ice cream contain cream, milk, and sugar, authentic gelato uses more milk and less cream than ice cream, and generally doesn't use egg yolks, which are a common ingredient in ice cream.
Oh, egg yolks. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a gelato.
I told you. I knew it's still.
Yeah, you're right.
So you know what I eat? There's something called no moo. Have you ever seen the ice cream? No moo?
Yes, no moo.
It's got no milk in it. It's got coconut instead. It's made of coconut.
I was totally wrong on the gelato thing.
No moo is good. Sometimes you get a little bit of gas for it, but I don't. It's not like there's no milk in it. I don't get the lactose.
I had one of these artificial ice creams was like, it had every tall, mannitol, sorbitol, and
that'll destroy you.
Oh my God! I ate like half of the thing, and it was about a half an hour later.
You'll fart your brains out. Yeah.
Bubble guts, like
it's like the Valentino. You turn into Valentino after that.
It was a Valentino changing moment right there. Yeah. All those sugar alcohols are fierce, man.
Oh, they wreak havoc with your gut. I think it might be worse than the whole lactose thing, but. Literally, if I drink a glass of skim milk, which has the least amount, it has the most amount of lactose in it with the least amount of fat. Fat slows the transit time. I can literally poop my pants like within 10 minutes after having it. That I have no ability to digest it. It just goes right through me.
Damn.
Yeah. So, but at least I know that.
Kid?
What?
Were you like that as a kid?
No, that's the weird thing. But I think you lose the ability. I have the gene defect, so I think maybe at a certain point, like a trigger goes off, and I just stopped producing lactase enzyme.
Well, we all do after a certain age. It's not supposed to drink milk anymore, and I guess a residual amount stays. But the majority after age 6 or 7, the majority of the lactase enzyme should be pretty much well diminished in humans.
It's an induced enzyme system in the body, meaning that when you consume lactose, your body starts producing lactase.
Right.
So I think from all the bodybuilding diets I did, when I would diet for a show, you don't use dairy, you cut it out. So I think I started losing the ability to digest lactose quicker, even because I stopped using dairy. So I had no enzyme in my body. I just wasn't producing it. And then once I started trying to put a demand on my body to produce it because I started drinking milk or eating, cheese or whatever, my body just couldn't respond anymore. Like, sorry, fucking guy, you should have kept drinking milk, So
what happens when you eat pizza?
I could eat a certain amount of like cheese and stuff like that and not have a problem. But I have a lot of problems with like ice cream, milk, like direct milk products. Cream's not so bad. The more fat content in there, the less problem I have, I find.
That makes sense.
And it's dose related. In other words, the more I eat of the stuff, if I ate a lot of cheese, I would be in big trouble. But seriously, like straight milk is the worst. I think straight milk has the most lactose. The fucked up thing in the supermarket is they sell these lactose free milks,
Right.
And you know what? It's milk with they throw some lactase enzyme in there.
That eats the lactose?
Supposedly. And so if you do that, legally, I mean, according to the rules of the FDA, you can say it's lactose free.
Huh.
Which it's not. Because I'll tell you, I've tried those products. I get destroyed by them. They're not digesting all the lactose. And we had a viewer, a listener of the show who actually worked for the FDA, and I actually had him on anonymously. And he says they get away with, they have all these weird rules, and, you can say things are lactose free if you put just drop a little enzyme in there, and it doesn't work. Anyone who's lactose intolerant knows that adding lactase enzyme does not work.
Well, the FDA has those regulations. People have these peanut allergies, right?
Yeah.
But you can say something's is peanut free, and it can still have up to a gram of peanut in it.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
I think the gram is the cutoff. You can say fat free, but if it has up to a gram of fat, and you can still say it's fat free, or you can say gluten free, but it can have up to a gram of gluten.
But even with peanuts with allergies, they can still do that.
Do it with gluten. I don't know the exact law, where it is, but I do know that the reference guide is not absolute zero. So it can have up to a certain amount, and I think the amounts are dictated by whatever they are.
Right.
But the one I know the best is fat-free. If it has up to a gram of fat, less than 1 gram of fat, you can say fat-free. So per serving. So
have you noticed that all the gluten people have dropped off the map? Like, gluten doesn't seem to be the hot item anymore. That was for a few years. Everyone couldn't eat gluten. Remember?
They've been replaced by vegans.
Now everything's vegan. Right. Now everyone gluten, wheat. I almost killed myself. I almost fell off my computer chair just now when I heard the word wheat and gluten. Now you can eat wheat because it's vegan, but you can't have any meat now. Right? That's the new thing.
Oh my God! So they put the gluten is okay now.
Gluten's fine now because it's plants, right? Isn't it pathetic? And you know what? All these schmucks, all these people, and I take myself out of the equation because I don't buy into any of the rhetoric. But all these people, all these Blackmans out there, listen to whatever the latest study, whatever the latest fad is, and then they jump on the bandwagon, and they're like, oh, I got to do vegan now, Oh, I got to do vegan.
Remember when olive oil was good, and then it was bad, and then it was good again?
Yeah.
But Blackman had this diner he would eat. He was eating at. I ate there one time. I got so sick from the amount of fat that they had put in the meat that it was so. Olive oil was good. The guy had this liter bottle of imported olive oil up on the shelf, was just for Blackman, and they would ceremoniously bring it to the table, and Blackman would just slather everything he's eating in olive oil. Then all of a sudden he read his study, olive oil's bad. He goes, no more. The guy brought the olive oil to the table, and he goes, don't you read the Journal of Applied the Digestive Nutrition? Wow. And this morning, the ad, article, study.
And the funny thing is, he probably had perfect blood work on all the olive oil, but yet he still got bamboozled by the article.
So the guy, was like, oh my, he's mortified. He takes the olive oil away, and so he apologized 700 times. He kept coming to the table. I go, can I fucking eat this sandwich without you apologizing all over the place? So. And then 2 months later, another study comes out and it reverses the other study, and we go back in. He asks for the olive oil, and the guy again is mortified. He doesn't have the olive oil anymore because the guy doesn't use it. And so, didn't you read the study this morning? And then this fucking Greek guy owns a diner. He's not reading the study. Okay? So
I call them flip floppers. They're flip floppers.
Well, yeah. So the next time we go, he's got the bottle of olive oil back, and once again, Blackman is pouring it on.
But he's a representative of the typical mentality of people. They hear something on TV, Dr. Oz, or someone does a Netflix documentary, and that's what they're doing. They don't even think about, hey, you know what? I've been doing this for 10 years and it's been working and I feel great and my blood works good. Why am I going to switch? Maybe these guys are fucking wrong,
read some study about the antioxidants in bread, in the wheat are only in the crust. So he goes to these restaurants and he's ordering bread, and he's just picking the crust off the last, the only eighth of an inch around, and he's leaving the whole, skinned loaf in the pan, and he's asking for more bread. No waiter comes and he goes, "What's a fucking giant ostrich egg?" Yeah, the nutrients are in the crust. Keep bringing the loaves. So he's wasting the entire loaf of bread so he can eat the crust. And then remember the bowls of chopped garlic, when garlic just came out?
Yeah.
You trained with him the next day after a bottle of wine.
But Blackman is representative of our... You don't need a DNA analysis of someone to figure out how to code.
Without the trial and error. Speaking of that, what do you think? I remember you posted sauerkraut as a probiotic source. Bubby's is the best. Ever have their pickles? Or publicity or attention. Okay, so you might as well absorb it. If you're not gonna take the lawsuit route, then you might as well get the the hits.
Yeah.
Because you got a lawsuit there if you want to follow it. You definitely do. The racist thing is the big one.
Right.
So, think about that. Somebody goes out of their way to write a letter as an informed source to a public venue that was going to have you on as a guest to block your appearance because you're a racist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not true. So
it's serious. No, it's serious. That's why I put the video up. But you know what? He's saying he didn't do it. So is it possible? Yeah, it's possible that he didn't do it. So I'm
just because it's our industry and we should all be sticking together instead of building fences around each other.
Right.
I would hope that that's the case. That it's not true.
Me too. I definitely hope it is. But once again, and I'm not looking to I'm not looking to ruin the guy's life, I know he took a lot of heat today because of all this, but it is what it is. People make their own beds, so we'll see.
He's going to be taking heat for a lot more than today.
Yeah, I know. I know.
This thing is, in the time we've been on the air, this thing has doubled.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. It was a rough day for him. Yeah, and like I said, it is what it is. He did look. If he didn't write the letters that he swears he didn't write, he can't deny the other stuff that he did to me. So that's not going away.
No.
And we'll see what happens.
Well, he could blame the little head on that, but you can't sue somebody for that. But the other stuff that's bad.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? Everyone has been asking me we got to get Jimmy the Bull back. So
that's been a frequent.
I'm sick. I'm putting that assignment on you because I'm leaving the assignment to you because if Jimmy's sitting in his truck, just waiting around for the job to be over, he can turn his iPhone on its side, put on Skype, and he can do a show with us. There's no reason why he can't do it.
I think he's got an emotional issue with it.
You don't think he's ready to come back? You think he's still?
I don't know. I think he's driving a dump truck. He was on top of our industry's world for a while,
right.
and now he's older. He's driving a dump truck, and he's not doing ads for metrics or going to shows and.
He's funnier though because of that.
Hysterical. People think Valentino is funny. They got no idea.
Oh, Jimmy is the stories.
Another planet Jimmy's from.
No one tells a better story than Jimmy.
Nobody. And you get a bottle of wine in him. Remember we used to do those shows? We used to drink on the show. By the end of the show, you're screaming and you're yelling and you park that microphone in front of him and that was it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, I'll try. I'll reach out to him. I'll try.
Because eventually, if we get him once, we'll get him. Then we got Jimmy, you, me, and Valentino. that's an unstoppable, after hours show.
That's pretty much the original Whack Pack, with the exception of
Valentino wasn't on there because Blackman was paying him all those years.
No, in the very, very beginning we had Valentino.
Oh, when we first worked for MD, we did,
Yeah, wasn't that the?
I don't think we did.
Muscle Mob.
That was the Muscle Mob. We did the radio. Remember, we did the radio show with him for a couple of weeks. It was just me, you, and him. And I actually had a big.
Oh, Larry Pepe. Remember Larry Pepe was on?
Yeah, Larry. But then we got rid of Larry, and it was just.
He left because Valentino did that thing.
That's right. He was insulted. He was insulted that Valentino was on the show.
Because Valentino did that whole shtick with the tranny and the broccoli and his shit and
Larry was appalled that Drake would talk about that on the air.
He had to leave. So, but I mean, everybody's different. But then, no, remember when we went to the Italian restaurant in Little Italy?
I loved it. It was great.
Put the cellophane bag over his head and tried to kill him. Remember?
We walked in the back of the restaurant to the kitchen.
Entrance, remember?
Carmine's, right? It wasn't Carmine. What was the name of Jimmy's uncle's place there?
I don't think it was his, though. I think it was Carmine's.
No, Carmine's is the place that they give you the big portions. That was someplace in Little Italy. It was like a relative of his. He's got relatives all over that own restaurants.
Yeah, you and I did another one there. Remember, the first one we did. Remember, we had the pictures of Arnold on the wall, and we did it.
That we did in the hotel room. Remember, at the Arnold or something like that.
No, that was at a restaurant. The food was amazing.
Yeah.
It was in the back room of a restaurant.
I thought that was in Little Italy, Jimmy the Bull's place.
That was the second time. That was just you and me.
Oh.
That was just you and me. The first time we brought Valentino in the side entrance. I put the cellophane bag over his head, tried to suffocate him, and then I think we had Derek was there.
I got to look for those things, man.
Those are.
I don't think they exist anymore. I think Blackman was so.
Blackman's got them all.
Yeah, but I think he's so jealous. I think he just got rid of them all.
Probably he just destroyed them.
The dummy should have at least kept them. That was the best stuff he had on the site there.
He fucked up so bad, that guy, man. This would have all been his.
I would love to hear some of those old Heavy Muscle radio shows. I mean, not Heavy Muscle, the No Bull radio shows that we used to do.
Yeah.
I guarantee our delivery and everything was so much different too back then.
Oh yeah, it was 10 years.
I even look at it's more than 10 years. It was probably 13 years ago.
Yeah,
I look back at our first listen to some of our first Heavy Muscle radio shows, and we're so much faster. It's like because you're afraid of silence when you first start talking into a microphone.
Right.
The dramatic pause is not there. It's like you have to fill airtime, and you and I just nonstop talk. It's good. It's like a very frenetic pace. Very high paced and high action. And we would do 3-hour shows, if you remember.
I do.
We'd have 14 guests on. The same show.
And no script.
Nothing.
Not even a schedule. Nothing.
No, I had a schedule. You didn't have a schedule. You just showed up. But I would have literally, we would have 3 different guests call into the show. It was it was unbelievable how long these shows were. But then again, we did nothing else. There was no videos. There was no nothing really. I mean, so
and everybody download them and used them for cardio.
Yeah.
And they did their cardio.
Yeah.
Be amazing.
All right, that's it. We're over an hour. I said to myself, I'm only going to do a half hour. I got a lot to do tonight, and I'm over an hour already. I knew it. So
we can't do anything for half an hour. It's awesome.
Because it's what do other people do at 1 a.m? We talk, we chat.
This was we back then, before either of us were married. We would call each other up at 2 o'clock in the morning because we knew each other were up.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So now I have to wait till I was going to bed earlier for a while when I only had one child. Now that I have 3, I can't do anything till they all go to sleep. So then I sneak out and I do stuff. I do my work and my emails and after hours, guys. We'll see you next week.